now that we have kind of dived into knowing how variables work, let's talk a little bit more about this, specifically different types of kind of um, variables that you could have. So we already know there's a string. We already know there is a number. What if there was a list? And that's the next thing I want to talk about, or that's what I'm going to call it, our list. And the first type of list that I'm going to teach you is about an array. An array is or let's call this my first array. An array looks like this. So you declare it with these open and closed brackets, and then you just put whatever you want in between. So you could say 1, you can say 2, and we'll say 3. Important to note, there's no trailing comma on the last item. And let's log this to the console and see what the heck it looks like. Refresh, 1, 2, 3, a list of 3 things. Now, if I wanted to get a specific number of these, or I wanted to just log one of these, you could do something like this. Console log, or actually I'll comment this out, and then just so we keep all our code, and I'll do console log my first array 1. And what that's going to do is grab the first index and log it here. So try to guess which one you think it's going to show when I hit refresh. It shows 2. Now, why the heck does it show 2? You're probably thinking 1 if you're brand new to development. And that's just kind of like a weird thing you're going to have to get used to when learning code. An array index starts at 0. So that's why it showed 2. 0 is 1, 1 is 2, 2 is 3, and so on. Because the count starts at 0. That's just how it is. And to kind of show this better, you can alternatively do console.table of a list, like an array, and it will show you the index next to the value. Something to keep in mind, I know that trips up a lot of people at first, but just know the index is starting at 0. Now, there are alternate ways to kind of writing a variable like this or declaring an array. For example, you could do my var equals var my second array, or my second array is equal to an empty array. And so let's actually log this just to see what it looks like when it's empty. And there's nothing there. Pretty plain boring, and that's it. It's an empty array. But we could start assigning things to it like this. So we could do 0, the first index is equal to the first index. Let's do 1, and we can do this as the second index. And then let's do 3, and we'll do it as the third. Now if I refresh here, you can kind of see it's a list of 3, 0, 1, 2, and this is a different way of managing your code. So why is that important to know? Because down the road, you might have an array, and we might do something crazy where you could have your first array, and you need to change the number 2 value. How are we going to do that? We would do it pretty easily. We want to change the second index, which we know is 1 because it starts at 0, 0, 1, 2. So we know it's 1 is equal to, I just changed you. And let's log that and see what the results are. So we declared the array with 1, 2, 3, but then we changed the second index to whatever we wanted. I just changed you. And I'll just do the console.table so we can see it. And that's how it works. And that's kind of how you're going to manage the list. I'm going to go on to the next lesson to talk about a different type of list, which is objects. And from there, we'll kind of keep going and kind of talking about how this all relates to actually doing things with the HTML.